We're becoming more antisocial.
Yeah.
It's all about
And it's
social
promoted
media.
to hate people. It's okay to ostracize. Like, for example, right now, we brought this up before, and I don't want to go off tangent here, but all Russians are bad now. Like, if you're a Russian, you're a piece of shit. I have tons of Russian friends.
I know, that's really sad.
But that's what's happening, right?
That's really
so,
sad.
So what we and my friends joke about, we say Russians are the new Muslims, because before it was Muslims, so all Muslims were bad. You're all terrorists. Any woman wearing a headscarf is a fucking terrorist, and she's got bombs wrapped around her. So now Russians are the ones. So I have friends of mine, when this whole thing first started, they pulled their kids out of school.
Wow.
Because the kids were being attacked in
Like
school. Here.
Yeah, I read about that in
They were
Toronto.
being called names and shit. You're a murderer. Your families are murderers. And these guys they're proud Canadians, and they're Russian as well. It's their heritage.
They got death threats.
Yeah, all kind. And these people are wealthy. They have their kids in private schools as well. And for what reason? Just because they happen to have a Russian name and they're from Russia. It's like, what? So last time we had our last podcast that we had, I brought up this suggestion. If I was to drive around with my car and I had 4 Russian flags on each window, I'd actually ask the police officer in Oakville. There was a bunch of these fucking pigs in front of my house, and one of them was blocking my driveway. And I said, move your car. And then after that, I spoke to one of the guys. I said, you know what? If a car drove by right now, I said, because we're thinking about doing this just as a test, just to see what happens, right? We're going to do a bid on this, where we're going to get a car. We're going to put a bunch of Russian flags on it. On the hood, like, you know how when you have the World Cup taking place, people decorate their car with Brazilian flags. Yeah. I said, what would you do? He goes, we'd pull them over. I said, why? Just to make sure everything's checks out. I said, fucking checks out how? What are you checking out? Just to make sure everything's okay. I said, so because he has a Russian flag on his car, you're suspecting he's doing something wrong. He's like, well, the mayor would want us to do that, and we believe the citizens of Oakville will. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're going to be
profiling.
Yeah,
and it's
you're
AI
judging
doing
someone.
it because the computer says like, oh, this race has done a lot of crime, so we're going to profile this race.
Yeah, well, this is also because obviously the Russian-Ukraine war, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is that we are in a society now where everyone has what's called the silo effect. I think I mentioned to some of you on the phone when I spoke to you. You know what the silo effect is? The silo effect is, if I love Donald Trump, all of my social media feed will be about positive stuff about Donald Trump, and he's amazing and chosen by God. If any one of you hate Donald Trump, all of your social media feed is going to be negative things. And all your friends, most of your friends will also agree with that as well, too. And if you were to tell me that he did something bad, I'd say that's bullshit. It's a witch hunt. It's all propaganda. And if I told you he did something good, you go, that's Breitbart bullshit. It's all, what's it called? Acon garbage, whatever. You wouldn't believe it. So now, just because I like Donald Trump, you actually will put me in a box and I'm your enemy and you hate me. That's what most people do. So it's no longer having a dialogue where, you know what? I might say something to you that's actually factual, that he actually did do some good things. So you have to have an open mind. But no, people just won't listen. And they've done that now when it comes to media. CNN they push the narrative that they hate Donald Trump. So they have an X amount of viewers who will always watch it. Fox News says that they love Donald Trump. So they divided the whole world that way. And now they push their narratives, and they know they've got a captured audience. So they're not going to ever open up their mind and say, you know what? Yeah, even though on CNN we say he's done horrible shit, but maybe today, if Donald Trump was the president, the Ukraine war would have never started.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's insane
and
what
I
they've
agree
done.
that even in Israel, that would have never started if he was in power.
Yeah. I think it was, I don't know if it was C11, but I know that you can't have anything on the news on your pages anymore. Even I had a CTV Ottawa live performance interview, and it got taken down because it can't even have something on my Facebook with a CTV interview of me on there anymore.
That's Facebook. That's not CTV. So Facebook.
Well, your social media, you can't have news stuff on your social media, your personal social media, which I find that's crazy, because imagine we don't know what's going on in other countries, and maybe what if there's pages out there that post about that, and now we can't see that. And same with our government and what's going on here. How can we really understand the our situations in the country and everything, and compare with other countries if we can't compare with each other? Yeah, everything is censored. We're being divided. We're being virtually divided. And yeah, I hope I don't get killed for saying this. Okay, don't let me mysteriously die in the next few weeks.
Okay,
But,
I'll make sure that you don't.
Yeah,
I'll make a few phone calls after the podcast.
Oh man.
yeah.
You know, the reality is that nowadays, when it comes to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I agree. Listen, and I'm not just saying only about, certain people's rights should be protected. Hey, listen, if you're a fucking Proud Boy and you go out there and wave a flag, fuck you. I hate you, but you want to do it, you should be allowed to. You want to fucking wave a swastika, you're a piece of shit. It should not be that, this hurts us, so we stop the line here. You know, if someone wants to wave a fucking, pride flag, okay, that's your prerogative, right? So, City Hall in Toronto will put up a pride flag, right, in City Hall, but will they put up a Proud Boys flag or like a Confederation flag or the flag of Saudi Arabia or the flag? No, they're not going to do that. So it's a fucking agenda. You cannot say that, we believe everybody's got rights and they're equal, but then all of a sudden when one group that you all hate says, okay, then I've got rights. Oh, no, actually you don't. And you don't either. And actually we don't agree with you either. Like right now with the war that's taking place, I wouldn't even call it a war. It's a fucking It's butchering going on in Israel. You've got people in Canada that supported the Palestinians and they've lost their jobs or they're getting deported or they're not getting their immigration process completed because they were vocal online about supporting Palestinians. So what? I can't fucking support, like if I support like a Russian, hockey team, because Russia's got amazing hockey players, what, I'm going to be fucking kicked out of the country? Like all of a sudden, I'm supporting these terrorists. It's so much bullshit. So let's move on because we can go on about this, for hours and hours, but I think it was a really interesting thing. I wasn't attacking you at all on the religion side. I just like to.
No, I just wanted to clarify. What I meant is the way you staged your question was either I believe everything he says or I don't believe, or I take him as a joke.
No, that's how you took it. So the words that I said was, if obviously like for Christmas Mass, the Pope is going to speak.
Yeah, of course I'll
respect. Do you
respect
what he says? I didn't say you must listen to it. I said, do you respect what he says?
Yeah.
Or do you not take him seriously at all? Right?